Movie lovers and cinephiles around the world, welcome once again to another edition of Andy Takes On. Okay, so we're just a few days, my friends, away from the release of the Snyder Cut. And we've already reviewed Justice League. If you missed that, it's up here somewhere, hopefully. And now, are we ready for the Snyder Cut? Not until you watch this review, because today, Andy takes on Batman versus Superman. Or as I like to call it, my brother from another Martha.
Martha.
Oh, why? You know why. But we'll get to that because, as you know, I'm here about the movie. And if you haven't seen the Ultimate Edition, well, let me save you 3 hours. So here's the story. Set 1.5 years after the events of Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman opens to a narration by Bruce Wayne, here played by Ben Affleck, and he is not happy. Like, I know that being generally unhappy is Batman's thing, but he's on another level in this movie. As the movie begins, it becomes clear immediately that every director who takes on the Batman character is going to try and take us to that childhood trauma where he lost his parents every single time. And that's okay, because it helps us to understand why a billionaire would dress up like it's Halloween every night and look for bad guys to beat up, okay? I get it. What I don't like is that it's only there to set up what is possibly one of the most ridiculous moments in cinematic history, the Martha moment.
Martha.
But we'll get to that. We meet a Bruce Wayne who, from the moment he appears on screen, is devastated by the, devastation caused by Superman and General Zod going toe-to-toe in Metropolis. It makes him feel powerless, resentful, and finally vengeful. And this right here is how he feels about Superman.
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty.
The story pivots to present day, where Lois Lane is continuing in her established tradition of throwing herself in harm's way, this time by interviewing a general who happens to be a terrorist in his base in the desert. Things go haywire and her super enabler, that is Superman, shows up just in time to save her from her greatest rival and arch enemy, and that is consequences. In saving her, he continues his established tradition of killing generals. I guess he got a taste for it after killing General Zod, and unknowingly falls into a trap to frame him for the deaths of nearby villagers. This whole framing subplot is supposed to drive the moral dilemma of the movie, but it fails because it is just so complicated. Anyway, the man behind this convoluted frame job is none other than Lex Luthor.
Ahoy, I did not know you were here.
Another billionaire who is not too happy about the advent of Superman. I guess billionaires have a problem with feeling powerless. But where Bruce is angry about the collateral damage, Lex is mad that there's somebody out there with the type of power that money can't buy. So he hatches one of the most complicated plots in the history of arch enemies. It's a 5-part plan. Follow me here. Number 1, the aforementioned frame job. Number 2, creating a kryptonite weapon to kill Superman and potentially other meta-humans. So you see, this is the difference between Marvel and DC, because where Marvel gave us a cinematic universe that was carefully plotted and had backstories for all of its main characters, or most of its main characters, before they gave us the Avengers movies. That was 5 movies, right? DC instead gives us the idea or references meta-humans in a throwaway line between Lex and this senator.
Meta-human thesis.
Yes.
And then finally an email attachment. That's right, an email attachment. Because that's the level of world building that we deserve. Number 3, manipulating Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent into fighting each other.
Ow, wow, that is a good grip. You should not pick a fight with this person.
And his preferred method? Well, strongly worded letters and Polaroid pictures. Seriously, if seeing upsetting pictures and reading nasty comments is what it takes to take these 2 guys to go to war, then they need to be kept away from the comments section. Like, have they met social media? Do you guys know the internet? Nasty comments and upsetting pictures is all we have to offer. Number 4, creating a Kryptonian death monster using General Zod's body.
You want Zod's body?
Okay.
Cause I want Zod's body, need Zod's body. As long as you got kryptonite, you gon' need that body. And finally, number 5, this one's my favorite. It involves getting import license so that he can bring the kryptonite into Metropolis.
What he needs from you is an import license.
You see, the criminal mastermind known as Lex Luthor is prepared to murder, pillage, kill, steal, and do all these other wonderful things. But when it comes to smuggling, well, that's just a line I won't cross. So get me that license. Because that's the kind of hard-hitting action that we came to see. The movie said Batman versus Superman, but all we got was Lex Luthor versus logistics. Zack Snyder needs to put some respect on the audience name. Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name.
So Lex finally does manage to push them over the edge and drive our two heroes to fight.
Boys, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent. Ah, I love it. I love bringing people together.
A fight to which Superman comes prepared because, well, he's Superman. And Bruce Wayne comes prepared because, well, he used his superpowers of prep time and CrossFit? Like, seriously. For 2 minutes there, you feel like you're watching a Rocky movie. But if you're going up against Superman, in the words of comedian Ron White, it might not matter how many sit-ups you did that morning. It's during this fight that one of the most controversial movie moments in recent memory takes place. You see, Batman has clearly established his position up to this point as Superman has to go.
He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and if we believe there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. And we have to destroy him.
But he then decides that he's not a threat because how could he be? His mother's name is Martha. That was my mama's name.
Martha.
So the beef is squashed now? Zack Snyder needs to put some respect on the audience name. Put some respect on my name.
Put some respect on my name.
So the two heroes become frenemies just in time to take on Doomsday, team up with Wonder Woman, and save the world. But this comes at a great cost. The stakes are high. See what I did there? Because somebody's gonna get staked. When we look at the tones and themes of this movie, the main idea was the idea of gods amongst men. And just in case that wasn't clear, the word God appears a record, I don't know, is that 12 times in the movie? I don't know, but here's a few of them.
To God.
God's
Gods among men, between gods and men. Ah, because that's what God is. And now God.
ever God.
Now God.
The second idea is that nobody stays good in this world.
How many good guys are left? How many stayed that way?
No one stays good in this world.
Which is a bleak, demotivating worldview from Superman, who is a hero who literally has the symbol of hope strapped onto his chest. My gosh. So let's look at some of the characters in this movie. We've got Batman. So he's already got issues with losing people that he loves. So when they happen to die in the building that he owns, he takes this to heart. My only problem with the Batman characterization is that he was so easily manipulated into this fight. I mean, come on, this is Bruce Wayne, this is Batman. He's a smart guy. You're not going to send him a picture and a letter and then hope that he's going to come around and do your bidding. But in this movie, apparently, you can. And then we have Lois Lane.
I'm not a lady, I'm a journalist.
I like Lois Lane. In fact, I like Amy Adams. I don't like Lois Lane because she's reckless and there have been no consequences for any of the danger that she puts herself in continually because she knows that Superman is going to come out to save her, except when the plot requires that he doesn't come and save her so she can be kidnapped by Lex. But okay. Superman himself. In Man of Steel, we were presented with a Superman that doesn't care. Like, he literally doesn't care about collateral damage or anything except whatever he's focused on at that particular moment in time. We know this because he says this. I'm not sure where it's coming out on screen, but he says it.
I don't care. I don't care.
In Batman vs. Superman, he is just as grim, and his main motivation for doing anything seems to be Lois Lane's well-being. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been in love. I am currently in love, so I know the feeling. But his apathy for anyone and everyone else doesn't make him our hero. He's just her hero. We're just spectators. The loquacious Lex Luthor. I'm gonna act like I already knew the word loquacious and I didn't discover it whilst doing research for this video. But it means talkative, chatty, because you cannot shut Lex Luthor up. He's the only person with sharp enough eyesight to be able to spot that Clark Kent and Superman happen to have a striking resemblance, and that Batman can only be financed by somebody with Bruce Wayne's resources. So he quickly puts two and two together and figures out the secret identities of our protagonists. Now, where Lex is normally portrayed as a billionaire industrialist of the super serious type, Batman vs. Superman decided to explore an angle where he's a Silicon Valley type.
Could you step into my office here?
He has an office gym, wears a t-shirt and sneakers to work, and hasn't combed his hair in the past month. I have not got a problem with this. He was entertaining and annoying, I have to say, all at the same time. We have Wonder Woman. Now, her screen time is fairly short, but it is one of the great parts of this movie. So here's my take. Batman vs. Superman was one of the most divisive movies of all time, or of recent memory at least, and with good reason. I know that suspension of disbelief is something that you need when you walk into the movie, but what Batman vs. Superman is asking isn't suspension of disbelief, it's suspension of all reasoning. It's a bit of a bridge too far. And I'm going to give you a few examples of why I found that this movie was more than a little bit disrespectful to the audience and to our intelligence. Number one, having established that Batman has one rule: I don't kill people, we immediately get introduced to a Batman who kills frequently and readily. Zack Snyder tried to explain this away by saying that he doesn't actually kill people outright. He does it by proxy. He gave an example where he says the Batman doesn't shoot the guy, he shoots the flamethrower that's strapped onto the guy's back, and when that explodes, that kills him. That's how killing people works. The fact that Clark Kent is sent to cover a sports story in Gotham makes no sense to me. He's a Metropolis reporter, and I'm even overlooking the fact here that Gotham is literally a spear throw. Spear? Get what I did there? That Gotham is literally a spear throw away from Metropolis.
Where are we headed?
There!
And yet he's so bad at being an investigative journalist that he doesn't know the billionaire or the vigilante operating from the city next door.
Who's that?
My gosh. Within the world of the movie, Superman's supposed to serve as an inspiration, and yet there are people literally burning his effigy. Who exactly is this movie trying to say that he inspires? Because when we meet the characters in Justice League, everybody's all torn up about the fact that Superman dies. Well, everybody should be celebrating. Everybody hated him, clearly. The movie does have some moments of brilliance, especially when Batman takes on multiple assailants. If you can see it clearly, it's quite nice. The actual showdown between Batman and Superman is another, and except for the fact that it had the most anticlimactic ending.
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name!
Ugh, but okay. And Wonder Woman, when she does appear on screen and when she gets into the battle, is also quite an interesting watch. Lex Luthor has some great lines of dialogue. There's some very witty puns and wordplay that he uses there, and the new Batmobile looks sick. So the movie wasn't terrible from the first frame to the last of the end credits, but I've got to say, in there, Batman vs. Superman for me gets 2.5 stars out of 5 stars, and yeah, I struggled to find that other half star because it was going down the drain. And do let me know in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Was it great? Did we all get it wrong? Or were we right about this movie? Are you excited for the Snyder Cut? Because now, by my account, we've got about 7 days to go. Maybe by the time that you're watching this, you've already seen the Snyder Cut. What do you think? Did they make up for the glaring plot holes that were in Batman vs. Superman? Subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments, and let your friends know so that we can have this discussion. But those are my takeouts from Andy Takes on Batman vs. Superman, and I will see you next time.